Everyone's sharing this electric soil trick. Bury some copper and wood, and your garden supposedly runs itself forever. But here's the thing. My grandmother was doing a version of this 50 years ago, with just buried logs and a handful of wood ash. So is this just another viral hack that wastes your weekend? Or is there real science underneath it? Here's what's interesting. There is real science here. 3 separate technologies, each proven independently, each forgotten for decades. And when you stack all 3 in one hole, something unexpected happens. Today, I'm going to show you what peer-reviewed research actually says. How to build this system in one afternoon for under $10. And 3 critical mistakes that can ruin the whole thing. I'm not promising infinite energy. I'm showing you what actually works. In the next 12 minutes, we're covering 3 things. First, why 3 ancient technologies were overshadowed by modern commercial fertilizer. Second, the science behind how they amplify each other underground. And third, the exact build, step by step, plus the 3 mistakes most people make. Let's start with the forgotten science. If you're spending $50 to $200 every season on fertilizer and water, and your soil still feels worse every year, you're not doing anything wrong. Most commercial fertilizers are designed for seasonal reapplication, not long-term soil health. But before the fertilizer industry existed, people solved this. 3 different civilizations, 3 different centuries, 3 completely different approaches, and each one still works today. Now, I want to be upfront. This is emerging science. I'll tell you what's proven, and I'll tell you what's still being studied. Let me walk you through them. Number 1. Hugelkultur. Central Europe, 1800s. Farmers buried logs at the bottom of their garden beds. Sounds strange, right? But the wood acts like a giant underground sponge. Research from Western Kentucky University found that buried wood holds moisture 2¼ times longer than bare soil. 9 days versus 4. Water holding capacity of decayed wood runs between 100 and 200%. And as the wood breaks down, it generates heat, 5 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, extending your growing season on both ends. Number 2. Biochar and Terra Preta. The Amazon, over 2,000 years ago. Indigenous communities crushed charcoal into their soil. Scientists call it Terra Preta, Black Earth. And here's the part that surprises people. That soil is still fertile today. 1 gram of biochar has up to 301 square meters of internal surface area. Think of it like a microscopic apartment building for nutrients. It catches every nutrient ion and holds it right in the root zone. Studies show an average yield increase of 10.8%. In sandy soil, the improvement hit 42.1% after 5 years. And the cation exchange capacity, that's how well soil holds nutrients, increases up to 10 times. Number 3. The Earth Battery. 1841. Alexander Bain patents the first Earth battery, patent number 8783. A copper electrode and a zinc electrode buried in soil, producing 0.8 to 1.1 volts of steady current. Now, before you think I'm talking about powering your house with dirt, let me be clear. This is microwatts, not home electricity. But here's what research from Oxford in 2023 confirmed. Plant roots actually bend toward electrical fields. It's called electrotropism. And a 2024 study from Northwestern University found that soil microbes near decomposing wood produced 68 times more electrical output than conventional fuel cells. I know some of you are thinking, what about termites? Great question. We'll cover that in the build section, along with 2 other mistakes that can ruin this system. Each of these technologies has independent research supporting it. Buried wood holds water. Biochar holds nutrients for centuries. A copper-zinc pair sends electrical signals to roots. But here's what nobody's been showing you. What happens when you combine all 3? Think of it like an underground apartment building that runs itself. 3 floors. Each one makes the others work better. Floor 1, the plumbing. That buried wood absorbs thousands of gallons of rainwater and releases it slowly back to the roots. After year 2, many hugelkultur beds need 0 irrigation. But the wood does something else. As it decomposes, it feeds soil microbes. And those microbes generate biological electricity. Remember that Northwestern study? 68 times more power output. The water stored in the wood keeps both batteries running, the galvanic one and the biological one. Floor 2, the pantry. Biochar catches every nutrient ion and holds it right where the roots can reach. But here's where the synergy kicks in. Biochar increases soil conductivity. Stronger conductivity means a stronger galvanic reaction from the copper and zinc. A stronger reaction frees more locked nutrients from the soil. And the biochar catches those too. It's a loop that reinforces itself. Floor 3, the doorbell. That copper-zinc pair produces a small but steady electrical signal. And roots follow it. Electrotropism pulls roots directly toward the water and the nutrients. The system is telling the plant exactly where to go. Each floor makes the others work better. Wood feeds microbes that generate electricity. Biochar boosts the electrical reaction and catches the nutrients it frees. The electrical signal guides roots to both. A closed-loop system that compounds every year instead of depleting. Compare that to $50 to $200 every season on fertilizer that depletes your soil a little more each year. This system costs under $10. 1 install, 0 repeat purchase. I share a new gardening secret every week, so hit subscribe if you want a garden that costs less and grows more. Now, I can already hear the comments. What about termites? Is pine wood okay? Where's the actual proof? These are great questions. Let's answer every one of them in the build. Grab a pen, write this down. Here's everything you need. A chunk of decayed hardwood, free if you know where to look. A bag of natural lump charcoal, about $4. A 6-inch copper pipe, about $3. A galvanized nail, literally pennies. Total cost, under $10. Quick safety note before we start. Copper pipe and galvanized nails are common hardware. And at garden levels, they're generally considered safe. Once everything's buried, my grandkids and my dog can run right into the garden. No problem. But during the actual build, keep loose materials stored out of reach. And always use untreated hardwood. Never use pressure-treated lumber. The chemicals in CCA or ACQ-treated wood can leach into your soil and are not safe for garden use. Step 1. Dig a trench about 2 feet deep. Lay your decayed hardwood at the bottom. The bigger and more rotted, the better. This is your water reservoir. Step 2. Crush your lump charcoal into small pieces. But do not put it in the ground yet. This is mistake number 2, and it surprises everyone. Raw biochar is an empty sponge. If you bury it dry, it will actually pull nutrients out of your soil instead of holding them. You need to charge it first. Soak it in compost tea or worm castings for at least 48 hours. A 2025 study in Frontiers in Sustainable Food Systems confirmed this. Charged biochar plus compost increased organic carbon by 51.9% and total nitrogen by 2.1%. Step 3. Spread your charged biochar in a 4 to 6 inch layer over the wood. Then cover with 6 to 8 inches of soil. Step 4. Insert 1 copper pipe and 1 galvanized nail per plant. Space them 8 to 12 inches apart. Push them about 6 inches deep into the soil so they reach the biochar layer. Now let's talk about the 3 mistakes that can ruin this entire system. Mistake number 1. Termites. Yes, buried wood can attract termites. But here's the nuance most videos skip. Large, fresh wood is what attracts them. Decayed, smaller pieces are far less appealing. Research suggests charred wood can help repel termites. Keep your bed at least 30 feet from your house. If you're in a high termite area, add a stainless steel mesh barrier under the bed and mix nitrogen-rich materials like grass clippings with the wood to speed decomposition. Mistake number 2. Raw biochar. We covered this in the build, but it's worth repeating. If you skip the charging step, your biochar becomes a nutrient vacuum. It will starve your plants instead of feeding them. Soak it for at least 48 hours. Longer is better. This is non-negotiable. Mistake number 3. Excess zinc. 1 copper-zinc pair per plant is enough. More is not better. Too much zinc is harmful to earthworms, and it can damage roots. 1 pair per plant. That's it. Follow those steps, avoid those mistakes, and you have a system that gets better with time, not worse. One afternoon, under $10. And unlike everything else in your garden, this one compounds. So, does electric soil actually work? Here's the honest answer. Each layer has real science behind it. Buried wood holds water. Biochar holds nutrients. A copper-zinc pair creates a measurable electrical signal that roots follow. The 3-layer combination is an emerging framework. Promising research, not guaranteed magic. But at under $10 and 1 afternoon, the only thing you're risking is a Saturday. And your garden will thank you either way. Try even just one layer this weekend. Bury some wood, add some biochar, or test a copper-zinc pair. And while your neighbours are spending hundreds on synthetic fertilizers every season, your garden will be quietly feeding itself. So, tell me below, are you team traditional fertilizer or team electric soil? Because a system that gets better every year is worth one afternoon of your time. That's the lazy gardener's way. And if you want another dirt-cheap way to bring tired soil back to life, the video right next to this one shows you an ancient liquid you can make in just 14 days. Happy gardening!